Hey, what's going on out there, guys? I truly appreciate you dropping by and checking out the content every single day here at Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel. And if you're new to the channel, thank you very much for dropping by. And if you're a repeat viewer, love that when people come by and watch over and over again. And today, what you're going to be watching is a double sort of sneaker thing, because I've been watching sneakers for a very long time. I mean, daily drops for what, 543 consecutive days. So I've looked at a lot of sneakers. And over the last, few months, I've been starting to see patterns in the sneakers. And today I decided to put two of those sort of patterns together. And what we're talking about is the Nike Lebron 17. And we're calling it Miami Beach, even though it doesn't have that as its official name. And then on the other side of that coin, we've got the Kyrie 6 Pool, or Pool Party as some people are calling it. I think officially it's called Pool though. And what I'm seeing is that the Kyrie 6 line and the LeBron 17 line seem to be sort of on a trajectory where they're like running parallel to each other and coming out with stuff lockstep, which is kind of a surprise. Usually sneaker lines are as unique as possible, but there's an awful lot that's going on between these two lines and then these two particular sneakers. And today that's what we're going to do, is we're going to have a look at in detail the two sneakers that we're talking about and find that commonality between the two, or those commonalities, because there's more than one. So without further ado, let's get into it as today we look at the Nike Lebron 17 Miami Beach and the Nike Kyrie 6 Pool. This is the Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi upsuru no de, mainichi mite kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today we're looking forward to two sneakers that are not too far away, and we're drawing a line between the two. Now, I think I said in the title for this video, or I will say, because you'll see it as your past, but I'll see it as my future. Is that the title of this video is what connects the Nike Lebron 17 Miami Beach and what connects that to the Kyrie 6 Pool. I think I always say this in my videos, that if I ask a question like that in the title, I give you the answer as soon as possible instead of dragging it out. Have you worked it out yet? Have you worked it out yet? So I'm going to go straight in there and give you three different things about these sneakers that I think tie the two together. Thing number one is the graffiti. So behind me here, what you'll be able to see first is the LeBron 17 graffiti, and then I'll switch that out for the Kyrie 6 neon graffiti. Now there's a shoe that's dropping right around the corner. I don't think it's quite come out yet, but it's pretty close. I mean, even in the name, graffiti and graffiti, but it's not just that. Like the similarities, are across the whole line, across both brands. So one coming out with a graffiti and the other coming out with a neon graffiti, like literally in the same week. Okay, that's a bit odd, unusual to see that. Then we come to these two shoes today, the Kyrie 6 Pool and then the LeBron 17 South Beach, as I'm calling it. We'll get to that name in a minute. And those guys are dropping really close together. And there's two things about them that are very similar. One is the colorway is very similar in that it's a family of colors. That's how I described it when I was sort of working up this video. I said that both shoes sort of operate in the same family of colors. I know that the LeBron 17s are more of an aqua blue, whereas the Pools, the Kyrie 6 Pools, are more of a neon blue, shall we say. But still, in the world of colors, they're in the same sort of neighborhood. Let's put it that way. They're in the same sort of neighborhood. So that's part one of it. And then part two about these shoes and what ties them together is that they're kids' shoes, and it's really unusual for both of these lines to come out with such a deep kid shoe sneaker. And they do often come out with the odd kid shoe here or there that's tied to a fuller size run and things like that. But it's really unusual to see both lines coming out with this specific sort of kid aimed shoe, and then so on top of that you've got the colorways that look very similar, or at least are in the same neighborhood, and then you've got those graffitis from the last couple of weeks, and that to me is a pattern that's starting to develop between the LeBron line and then the Kyrie 6 line. So I don't know if it's coincidence, I don't know if they share some staff. Maybe they don't just have exclusive staff that work only with LeBron and only with Kyrie. Maybe they have like some exclusive, but they share some staff and there's just some natural crossover between the two. Or is it an actual deliberate thing from both lines where they're actually going out of their way to try and tie the two together. And that would favour the Kyrie line as far as I'm concerned, because the Kyrie line would get in the slipstream of the LeBron line, because of course the LeBron sneakers are bigger than the Kyrie sneakers. And then so I think it would benefit the Kyrie line, because they'll, if you type in Nike graffiti, and you might get the graffiti 17s, but you might get the Kyrie 6 neon graffitis come out, and that's only going to advantage the Kyrie line. So so it might be deliberate, or it might just be by chance, or they might share staff or something like that. But for sure, the pattern that I'm seeing is that the Kyrie line and the LeBron line are very much sort of bringing out sneakers that have at least got echoes of each other, if not more. But speaking of bringing out sneakers, it's my opinion, and it's just an opinion, but it's my opinion that the big brands especially are trying to saturate the market a little bit right now, and they're dumping as much stock as they can get away with on the market, because they know that down the line the demand is going to fall off when people don't have as much ready cash as they may still do right now, because the effects of this coronavirus situation is only going to hit a few months down the line. And I think these Kyrie 6 pools are an example of that. I don't think so much for the Miami Beach guys, but the pools I think are very much a shoe that they're just sort of rushing it out a little bit, and it would have come out a bit further away. Usually in my experience the Kyrie 6 drops don't come this close together, but they're sort of starting to sort of pack them in a little bit, because like I said, I think they want to get them out and off the the stock shelves and out into the market and in the shop shelves, so they can make money off it before demand dries up. So we'll see if that holds true over the next few weeks and months, and see if demand does sort of peter out, and then we'll have many fewer shoes out there to choose from. But the other thing I want to do is, before we actually look at the details on the shoes, is get to that name of the LeBron 17s. I'm calling them the Miami Beaches, but it could be South Beach, or it could be Miami Beach, or there's other names to go with this, because there is a history with the LeBron line. We're talking 17 shoes deep in the LeBron line, and there have been a few down the way. I think I remember 4s and 8s specifically, but I think there have been more as well. I think there may have been some 12s, 11s, 12s, 13s as well. It might be that he's dropped a South Beach or a Miami Beach shoe with every single one of his signature sneakers 1 through 17, but I'm not sure about that, so I don't want to be too definite about that. But I do know there have been a few down the line, and a few of them are absolutely iconic and super rare and super highly sought after. So it's interesting that they're coming out with this one here, and it's sort of targeted more at kids than anyone else, because it does actually have a history and does have a story to it. So so we'll stay on the 17s since I'm on them right now, and I want to talk about a couple of details on that, and then we'll go over to those 6s, the Kyrie 6s, and look at a couple of details on that shoe. So in terms of the 6s, the big thing, the 6s, the 17s, the big thing that strikes me about this is, if we go back to those graffitis, what you can see under the LeBron 4 section on the bottom half is the LeBron 17 upper material on there, but it's all white, and there's none of that sort of second color that you usually get with LeBron 17s in the upper. And then if we come back to these Miami Beaches and zoom in, you can see that it's very much an aqua blue sneaker, and there is a hit of color, whereas those graffitis it was just pure white. There is a hit of color, a second color on these, but it's much more toned down than say the Lakers. If we bring up the Lakers, you'll see that there's a lot of colors all swirling together in there, almost like Jupiter or something like that. And then back to these Miami Beaches, and you can see it's a much sort of softer take on that upper there, and that going with the graffitis and now with these Miami Beaches and that sort of softer tones and less sort of aggressive colorways. Maybe that's a new sort of theme that's coming in with the LeBron 17 uppers. I don't know, but it is a pattern again that I'm starting to see now. Either way, very clean upper, and I actually, some people don't, but I actually get what they're trying to do with the grey that goes against that aqua blue. I think it works, and some people think maybe they're not the right two colours to go together, but I think actually there's something about the tone of the grey and the tone of that aqua blue that they sit really nicely together on the shoe, and we're talking about on the tongues and the lacing system, and then also on that big clean outsole. I'll pop the outsole up because it's one of my favourite features of the 17s, although the 17s I think are a great shoe. So the grey on there, it works for me, and that also works in the midsole. If you zoom in on that midsole here, hopefully I'm able to do that on the green screen, and you can see it's a speckled midsole, and that gives it a bit of character and a bit sort of more substance in there. If it's just a solid white colour or a solid colour throughout the midsole, sometimes it looks a bit too big or a little bit too sort of solid, but having the speckled effect on there I think is a very big yes for these shoes. And then we'll flip over to those Kyrie 6s and have a quick look at them and the colours going on there. And that's a lot more in terms of, like I said, the neon colourways and the blues, the greens and the yellows. So there's a whole lot of sort of vibrance going on there. And the one place that I really wanted to focus in on that is on the heels. And I actually wrote in my notes before shooting this video something along the lines of, that's a heck of a heel, Mr. Irving. Because that, I mean, look at it. I mean, the heel itself, the physical heel, the structure of the heel is nothing new in terms of Kyrie 6s. That's what you get on the back of the Kyrie 6s all the time. And it's an Egyptian-themed, all-seeing eye. But it's just the colour, the brightness of the colour, and the solidness of the colour on there. It's a really vibrant-looking heel. And the other thing to really look at, I suppose, on 6s is when you go for the strap, you know, that midfoot strap across the top. It wasn't as noticeable to me when I looked at this shoe, the 6 that comes on, I think it's on the lateral side, if I remember rightly. No, it's on the medial side, and that confused me once. It's on the medial side, the 6 on there, in Roman numerals, the V and the 1 together, but it's not as sort of vibrant as it has been on previous shoes. And maybe I can get up that neon graffiti and show you the neon graffiti 6 on the midfoot strap there and come back to these pools, and you'll see that it's not quite as vibrant as that earlier sort of edition on there. So, but back to the full shoe, you can see those colours on there, that splash of, you know, neon colours, strong, vibrant colours. And then if we flip that out back to the 17s and you look at that aqua blue base on there. So like I said, it's the sort of same neighbourhood of colours, but not really the same matching colours. And that, to me though, there is a real tie-up between these two shoes and what they're trying to do as shoes as we lead into the summer, both in terms of their style and their colouring, but also in terms of their sort of aimed more at kids than anything else. And that to me is a tie-up between the two lines. And then going back to just the graffitis and neon graffitis from before, it seems like they're running, you know, at least neck and neck right now, and whether that's deliberate or not, who knows. But these two today, what we're looking at, the 17s and the 6s, two really cool shoes. I'm sure that kids out there will absolutely die for them. I, of course, am going to go for the 17s as being my preference, because I think the 17s are an iconic shoe, and we'll look back in 10, 15, 20 years time on the LeBron 17s as one of those sort of signature shoes of an era. So the 17s for me always take the, you know, the winning spot, if you like. So, but I'm sure other people out there will be going for the Kyrie Irvings just as much. So as far as what they're meant to do and as far as what they are as shoes, I think they do exactly what it says on the tin. These shoes are summer shoes aimed at kids, and I think a lot of kids out there are going to love them. For now though, time for me to sign off and thank you guys for checking out my content. I do this every single day, and like I said, this is something like day 543 of consecutive daily drops, and haven't missed a beat yet, and fingers crossed we'll keep that going, although it is kind of tough at 1 o'clock in the morning and this video has to go up at 7 o'clock this afternoon. So things to do, got to do work tomorrow as well, got my little girl to take care of. Thankfully she's not awake at 1 o'clock in the morning. But for now it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content, but as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.